DC Comics. Reading. Who just reaches into a dark hole like that? How could he even see where the bottom was or that anything was down there? Do you want to get eaten by Pennywise? Because this is how you get eaten by Pennywise. Sudden Christine. This is far and away the most interesting way to show how a demonic possession device works in a movie. But most people would drop the knife after getting T-boned by a car, right? Gotta admit, this is a tough way to find out that your loved one is Spider-Woman. Jesus, there's so much focus on this cigarette for the last 2 minutes, I'm starting to wonder if it's Constantine. And I'm also wondering if that would make for a better movie.
This is Constantine.
Roll extra credits.
Move the car!
You mean the Shia LaBeouf Express is directly under the demon-possessed woman's apartment? Why do I get the feeling that the only reason that it's here is so that the movie could introduce Shia LaBeouf and it won't be awkward later?
Smile pretty, big prick.
I mean, I don't know much about demon possession or demons in general, but I struggle with the idea that a demon could get trapped in some mirror world using an ordinary mirror. This is like that impossible riddle. You're in a room with no windows, no doors, no exit of any kind. The only things inside the room are a mirror and a table. How do you get out? And the answer is you look in the mirror to see what you saw, grab the saw, cut the table in half, put the halves together to make a hole, and then escape through the hole. That's pretty much what I get out of this demon defeating technique.
Your boss.
I get Constantine's a badass and likes to talk, but since this woman's life is at stake here, and we find out keeping the demon in the mirror isn't easy. Does this seem like a good use of time? Granted, I don't know what the rules of the mirror are, but why can't they turn the mirror on its side? Yeah, it might not be reflecting the possessed girl anymore, but once it's outside, it won't be reflecting her either. This bullshit works.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned.
I think this movie is confessing.
I need to see this, okay?
Why do movies always let detective characters walk into scenes like this where they would have a conflict of interest? So, these women are supposed to be twins, right? Just checking. Manuel is addicted to cattle.
It's dragon's breath.
Thought you couldn't get it anymore.
Oh, no, a guy who knows a guy.
Hey, this dragon's breath is pretty rare. Let me shoot it in the middle of this room for no reason to demonstrate its power in an extremely wasteful fashion.
John? John? I love our little talks, John.
Keanu Reeves plays a character named John, cliche. Don't think so? How about Johnny Utah, Jonathan Harker, Don John, Johnny Mnemonic, John from a movie called Generation John Wick, Johnny Silverhand in the maybe possibly upcoming Cyberpunk 2077 game, and he's about to play a guy called John Rain in a TV miniseries. Yeah, you could even throw in Jack Traven from Speed, since Jack is sometimes a derivative of John.
I really need to speak with him. It's very important.
First come, first served.
Why does John assume that Angela wants to talk to Gabriel and not the priest Gabriel is talking to? And what are the odds both of them would be here at this exact moment to talk to two people who just happen to be here at the same time? Also, this dude, who's like the secretary or something, doesn't even try to alleviate the confusion at all. He's like, you two just come on in at the same time. Both of you think you're talking to the same person and I know better, but you. God is mysterious. And then he probably throws one of those smoke bombs on the floor and disappears.
He's still trying to buy your way into heaven?
What about the minions I've sent back?
Based on the summer of 2020 offerings, I would say you didn't send them back far enough.
And you're going to go to hell because of the life you took.
That life is his own, and while both of these characters know that, and it doesn't need to be said, it's an extremely odd way to state the obvious. It's almost like they know to keep it a surprise for later. Why does rubbing a newspaper give this guy any particular psychic knowledge? It's just a newspaper. The pages and the ink weren't hanging around the crime scene.
Constantine.
How did the security camera get this close-up footage of Isabel? Camera is set to a wide shot of the entire roof. The only way this shot exists is if a security guard was practicing camera zooms for a film class instead of saving Isabel. Angela hits the rewind button that would have taken her to the beginning of the video and not skip back a few frames as it does here. Angela doesn't QuickTime correctly.
Hello?
I know she's a detective, but how many phones does she need in this tiny office? Whoa, how did this billboard know it was time for John to buy a new Chevy? You know, I had been dying for some movie to accurately portray the bug bladder beast of Troll, and to have it simply get hit by a car and die is very disappointing. If this is a bar of mostly supernatural creatures, then how impressive is this really? I'm assuming the people around here are like, oh great, Diana's still turning water into wine. Can't she at least up her game to some Maker's Mark or Cutty Sark? Ah, Grady Fly!
I saw
I
you.
remember.
And then I saw you at the...
Regular kismet.
No, just your usual chain reaction.
Well, maybe you could just listen then. Please.
Look, I know Constantine has his own going on, but this will be the third time he's ignored and or turned down the company of Rachel Weisz. And that may be the biggest sin of the movie. John sees the demons flying around outside that he later believes to be coming after Angela, but they take their sweet-ass time to go in for the attack, allowing John to catch up and have an entire conversation with her before showing up.
That's really not going to help.
But how could it hurt?
Close your eyes.
Why?
Suit yourself.
I know Constantine is a dick, but she asked why, so she didn't refuse to close her eyes. She was asking for an explanation, which you could easily get.
Well, let's be sure. Let's see if she's in hell.
Ironically, the bus that just went past John has to maintain a speed of 50 miles an hour or else it can't be an idiotic jump scare. This movie has at least 33% Rachel Weisz downblousing shots.
Be careful with that cat.
So, you can just dip your feet in the water while holding a dead person's cat and visit hell? Feels totally arbitrary, and I probably didn't ingest enough drugs before watching this. I believe Constantine's representation of hell is correct. It's a melange of CG eyesore technology borrowed from Spawn and Mortal Kombat, being blown around by hurricane force winds. I'm definitely going to start reading the Bible after this scene as soon as my optometrist tells me there's no hope. Oh, that's cool. So this hellscape can just recreate Isabel's death, all the way down to her disposing of her medical wristband, so that John will have proof he saw her down here? Good thing she didn't pull this at a Denny's.
Jesus.
No, it's Constantine, Angela. Jesus only shows up if you put the water in a flower vase and have a monkey wrapped around your neck. What were 2005 Catholic schools teaching these kids?
How is this possible?
It's not. No, dude, the other way. The guy who broke into the morgue went the other way. Oh, the irony of being named Hennessy and being unable to taste alcohol. Apparently the type of place that has 0 employees because nobody seems to care that you're laying waste to perfectly good alcohol in here.
Angels and demons can't cross over onto our plane.
Unfortunately, it did. And then we got Inferno.
Drowned himself in alcohol in under a minute.
Could have been a member of my fraternity.
Pretty sure Officer I've Got the Jokes fraternity would be closed down quickly if members were dying of alcohol poisoning on the regular.
So you had her committed.
Yeah,
How long?
2 weeks.
The real question is, how long did it take Angela to answer John's question? He asked down by the pool, now she's answering him in Isabel's old room.
She knew you'd come. She counted on you to see what she saw.
And she grabbed the saw, cut the table in half, then put the halves together. I'm happy she found her sister's message, but this is a major indictment on this hospital's cleaning standards.
The sins of the father would only be exceeded by the sins of the son.
Whose son?
But he can't cross over, B.
Constantine has known for some time that demons who shouldn't be on the human plane are crossing over. So this whole they can't cross over thing is some bull he's already figured out, even if it is the Antichrist.
Whose son? God's son?
No, the other one. The devil had a son, too.
Wow, this movie plays as some offbeat sequel to The Devil's Advocate. There was a greedy fly in here, and it flies away. Meanwhile, on the new episode of Characters You Forgot Existed, Manuel continues his journey with the Spear of Destiny. Next week's episode, Shia LaBeouf's Chaz Kramer character. I'm pretty sure that's a billboard that exists, but the chances of it being in this exact spot, at this exact moment, there is a possessed man wielding a religious weapon is, well, more insane than the Bible.
I used to pretend that I didn't see things.
I hear you, Angela. I'm trying to pretend I don't see 700 water jugs in this room, but it's a losing battle.
You do this, there's no turning back.
If you do this, there's no turning back, cliche.
So do I have to take the rest of my clothes off, or can I leave them on? John?
I'm thinking.
This is a funny moment, but I'm wondering why they can't find her suitable tub wear for this process. Go out and get a bathing suit. Not only that, but she's wearing her damn shoes in this tub. There are a variety of ways not to be naked, yet wearing proper tub attire.
So, why water?
It's a universal conduit. Lubricates a transition from one plane to another.
Yeah, that sounds good. We'll go with that.
Now ask me if there's water in hell.
So, water in hell.
Sin.
Asking someone to ask you a question and then not answering is a sin, right?
Take a deep one.
Why can't she wear a scuba mask or some? If clothes are okay, why not breathing assistance? Water is the conduit, not the ability to hold your breath. When Constantine told her she had to be completely submerged, why does that mean that her hands and knees get to stay out of the water? And why is she still wearing a what? God damn, I have so many questions.
It was his.
Whoa, what happened to Beeman? He was here, covered in flies a minute ago. Did he just disappear? Did the flies eat him? What happened to his body? Holy that's weird.
It was his. Rolling. Not a ball. Something smaller.
Glad the movie went this lazy route and didn't show actual detective work being done. This is the equivalent of Columbo not being able to figure out who the murderer is, so he takes a bath. How the would Constantine know that Balthazar was behind this very mirror?
Enjoy.
Why would you let him fish around in his coat pockets? You know Constantine has a variety of demon banishing and killing weapons, right?
Love to be a fly on that wall.
A greedy fly, no doubt. Bush.
I drew out the sister as you asked.
So wait, you're telling me that Balthazar knew Angela would want to practice her psychic powers again when he killed Beeman and left his coin behind? Also, it seems like they could have captured her at any time they wanted, and it didn't require drawing her out. They were ready to attack her when she was on the street after visiting Constantine earlier.
The balance. Screw the balance.
Seriously, screw the Balance. This is the flimsiest moral high ground a movie has sat on since The Hunger Games. You're telling me not a single demon or angel half-breed has found a way around this before now? There haven't been twin psychics before now? Is the balance even defined? Are there papers that half-breeds sign when they land on Earth?
200 souls passed through this wooden steel at Sing Sing.
So wait, the chair John's been asking to sit in is an ordinary electric chair? Why does it have to be this chair? This is a 19th century invention. What the hell power does it possess in this world? Furthermore, it doesn't even appear that the chair itself matters. This is just sending an electrical charge through some water on the floor. And now I really don't know what's going on. This chair allows him to see, I guess, where the Spear of Destiny is? But Constantine was asking about sitting in the chair well before he knew the Spear of Destiny was even important. So I'm honestly lost as to why this works. Also, I'm not sure why Midnight, yes, that's his name. Let's just send that first. Also, I'm not sure why Midnight wouldn't let him sit in the chair in the first place. He's all about balance, which merely means that the demons and angels can't directly interfere with humans. So why would seeing this upset the balance?
Half-breeds are most vulnerable when their outer skin is breached by holy water.
Shia LaBeouf exposition. Shia position? Expo LaBeouf?
It's not always like it is in the books.
Exactly. Sometimes there's an entire storyline about house elves forming a union and fighting their oppressor that doesn't get included. But then 3 movies later, we're supposed to give a shit that Dobby dies. I'm sorry, I get into Harry Potter arguments with very little prompt. I don't know how many rounds that specific gun carries, but I'm gonna guess it's not 29.
My name's John.
Okay, so all of Mammon's followers take a look at John, but this is oddly familiar. Remember when Angela was shooting at the demon earlier? Yeah, it's the same shot, only reversed. The giveaway is this hot chick in a skirt and knee-high socks and the guy in the friend zone sitting next to her. She's in the foreground of both shots with the same background and everything. These shots are literally 90 seconds apart. Guess what, f***os? I'm on to you!
Holy water?
Kiss, kiss, bang, bang, Michelle Monaghan is gone from this movie as fast as she arrived. I'm pretty sure Shia LaBeouf didn't make enough bullets to tear through this giant crowd of demons, but the movie seems to think he did. I see half-breeds follow the while in a group only come at the protagonist one at a time, even though attacking as a group would be more effective movie philosophy. No one will be seated during the Keanu Reeves left hand is bigger than Rachel Weisz's entire stomach scene.
This is Kramer. Chaz Kramer.
Mammon does to Shia LaBeouf what probably a lot of Hollywood actors and directors have thought about doing, which is fine, but why not do this to Constantine, who is the much bigger threat? This is the second time It's Not Like the Books has been uttered, and I have to wonder, what books are these two reading? I assume they're talking about novels, like The Exorcist, or maybe Legion, or possibly even the Bible, and if that's the case, then this is exactly like the books. Use a cliche if you like, but use it wisely.
Figures.
Movie follows the Law and Order equation of if you introduce a known actor for no good reason, then they disappear for a length of time, they have to be the bad guy. Quentin Tarantino's Constantine.
I am simply seeking to inspire mankind to all that was intended.
By handing Earth over to the son of the devil?
So I'm wondering how Gabriel equals the power of God, as the Bible from hell said was necessary to bring Satan's kid into the world. Sure, the movie is probably saying that God's lieutenant's qualified, but you'd think the text would say the power of God and anyone from heaven associated with God. It's the movie's trick so that you won't guess it's Gabriel right away. Also, why is God not in the loop on all that's going down on Earth? Doesn't he know everything? He just turns a blind eye to this kind of tomfoolery? I don't care how much of a Keanu you are, slicing both of your wrists with a piece of jagged broken glass would hurt like a mother and would cause a little more of a facial expression than whatever he's displaying currently. He looks like he just looked into his McDonald's bag and realizes they thought he said extra onions instead of none. This style of Oris watch starts at about $561. I'm not saying that Angela couldn't afford this on a cop's salary in LA, but I am saying Angela couldn't afford this on a cop's salary in LA. I haven't seen this obvious of a Satan typecasting since Viggo Mortensen in The Prophecy. And the Tilda Swinton of the 1990s, Christopher Walken, played Gabriel.
You're the one soul I would come up here to collect myself.
Interesting that John simply gets to talk and negotiate with the devil before he dies. Why is there even a negotiating period? Lucifer has no clue about the Gabriel Mammon deal. God damn, Lucifer is a mega dick!
What's another 20 seconds?
Okay guys, now recreate the iconic Alien Ripley scene from Alien 3. Haha, sweet!
Looks like somebody doesn't have your back anymore.
Which is why it's so unbelievable that Gabriel could try to pull this off. They're not God, and God obviously found out about all the bad stuff Gabriel did and stripped them of their power. I can't see how this plan could ever work.
Yeah, what do you want? An extension?
Can he get an extension? How does that not affect the balance? What is the point of the balance?
The sacrifice.
But John told Balthazar he had to ask for absolution to get into heaven, and he most certainly didn't do that. Furthermore, Gabriel told him all the good he did was to benefit him, so it didn't put him in God's good graces. And you're telling me his decision to free Isabel from hell over himself wasn't in his best interest and already planned out? Because you'd be wrong. Man, I'm beginning to think these truth ads are going too far.
Hide it. Somewhere no one will ever be able to find it.
What's the point when some asshole is just going to stumble on it looking for bottles one day? So Constantine got cancer and then had to kill himself to get the devil to help him out. Then he almost went to heaven but was snatched back by the devil, and while the cancer was removed and he gets to live a long life, he does not end up with Rachel Weisz? So are we sure he isn't actually in hell at the end of the movie?
You did good, Ken.
End credits scene has John put a magic lighter on Chaz Kramer's grave and Shia LaBeouf shows up as an angel. I'd say you can't make this shit up, but yeah.
You're the one soul I would come up here to collect myself.
Next week, starting March 9th, it's Sin Week, and all members of our Patreon will get 4 bonus Sins videos the public will not see. Including Game Night, a redo of our Avengers Sins video from 2012, Pokemon the movie, and Love Actually. You can get all 4 of those if you sign up at any tier, $3 and up, on our Patreon, patreon.com/CinemaSins.
You can do it!
Go, do it! 4 bonus Sins videos, blah!
That's gonna leave a mark.
This is Kramer. Chaz Kramer, asshole.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying real hard.
I'm trying real hard to be the shepherd.
2 frogs on the bench.
There's a couple of wavy lines.
Dodson.
Dodson! Dodson! We've got Dodson here! See, nobody cares.
What would you do?
I don't know.
What would you do?
Pop quiz, asshole. You have a hair trigger aimed at your head. What do you do? What do you do?
Half-breed tipped the scales when you started killing my friends. I'm just adding some counterweight.
The Iceman cometh.
What a dumbass!
Angela, what is it?
The souls of the children. Give me strength.
No! No! No, not me! Why are you coming for me? No! Rachel! Rachel!